Assalamu alaikum guys. I'm actually at this big event which I thought was going to be all about toys because it's for kids. But what I found really interesting is that it's actually full of organizations. So it's like a kids event, so schools come here, but it's full of organizations. So for example, things like the army, they're here, the navy's here, anything you can think of in terms of a major organization, they're here. And I was listening to one of the army guys talk about it, and they were saying they're here to try and inspire people. So they want children to start thinking about these kind of careers very early on, which is really interesting, because rather than thinking about the customer just before they're going to buy, these guys are thinking like 15-20 years ahead, thinking, okay, if we want someone to join the army, at what point do we actually engage with them right at the start? So for example, if we sell a product which is like a car product, maybe we'd say just before they buy a car we want to engage with them. But the army's way of thinking is completely different. They're thinking if we can inspire them while they're out on a school trip, that would actually make them join the army maybe 20 years later. So it's very deep thinking when it comes to the customer journey that you go on and where you start the awareness. And this is something we should be thinking about, that if your customer was going to be joining you at a much earlier stage, when would it be? Where could you actually engage with them? Where could you tell them about yourself so early on that you fill your pipeline, and later on you get to a point where you're just full of people who just keep joining and joining and joining.